Relationships. For some reason, relationships is a very hot topic in today's world. I mean, think about it. About 50 years ago, we didn't hear so many people talking about their relationship problems. Seemed like they were pretty content. Marriages lasted a lifetime. There weren't really major issues for the most part. I mean, obviously, there's exceptions to everything. For the most part, it seemed like our grandparents, great grandparents got along just fine. Today, however, it's almost like every person you meet has some kind of pain point when it comes to the issue of relationships. Interesting phenomena. There is actually cultural and historical reasons for that, but I'm not going to get into this in the interest of time for this explainer video. I'm Helena, by the way, and my college degree, my original college degree, is in acmeology. Acmeology is known as science of success. Think about it. What makes some people extremely successful and some people not successful at all? And I mean, you could be talking two brothers from the same family, and it's really not your environment because we hear success stories and a lot of such success stories of somebody who was born in a ghetto, parents were broke, maybe even abusive, they didn't have any money, and lo and behold, this person is spearheading a big company today. He is like a total success story, famous actor, famous somebody. That's how we hear about those stories. Or on the flip side, somebody wins the lottery and seems like everything is handed to them on a silver platter, and they're a complete failure a few years later. So, as much as I stress the importance of the environment, there's something more to it determining your rates of success or how successful you're going to be. And this is what acmeology is all about. So today, in this video, we are going to talk about acmeology, the science of success, as applied to relationships, obviously. And if you want, I'm going to leave you a link under this video to all the solutions that I have on the website for relationships, both mine or through my partners, people that I work with. So I'm not going to go into the specific solutions. I mean, I can't in a 10-minute video. So in the short time that I have, I want to talk about the method that we use here in Triumph Over Gray when approaching relationships. Most counselors, most life coaches that are out there use methods that are based on issue management. And there is a variety of methods, different approaches, different perspectives, but at the core, the type of the solution is issue management. So, and we at Triumph Over Gray focus on core change. So, issue management versus core change is the difference of the approach that we have. So, let me explain what this means. Issue management in the context of relationship, let's say problem. Your husband comes home late and he won't help at all. He feels like, hey, I'm the man. I worked all day. I don't have to do anything. And on top of that, starts dishing out comments to you like, well, gee, why is the sink full of dishes? Why is the floor dirty? What have you been doing all day? Saying, let's say you're a stay-home mom comes from work. Or if you're a working mom, then, it's like, well, gee, why aren't you doing X, Y, Z? And he hasn't been helping. Definitely a relationship problem, right? And, as a comment aside, this is because he's not helping. That's why it looks so easy to him. If he was splitting it 50-50, he'd have a different concept. But boiling down to here, that's a relationship problem that we're going to take as an example. Or let's call the cattle black and let's take it deeper in the dark side, and say, hey, he comes home drunk. And then he proceeds to dish out those fault finding comments and really starts putting you down. And then he proceeds to be even verbally or possibly even physically abusive. So, what do you do? Well, there are laws for physical abuse. I'm not going to discuss that. I mean, everybody already knows how that situation is, and we're not going to get into that. However, I say that a lot of women end up taking abuse for fear of losing the relationship. So if you are one of those people who is going against the norm and against, the law in that, hey, I want to keep that person, and tolerating abuse, then you may want to hear, you want to hear more about this. Definitely, but I'm just saying that that's not the subject that we're going to address. So, would issue management mean in those kind of situations? So let's say have a conversation with him. Well, in the first scenario, that is semi-possible, but as you know, usually doesn't lead anywhere because their mind's made up. I don't know what you've been doing all day, but you know, you really don't get very far, right? Or, okay, you can go, relax, distress. We understand that's very stressful. So use some relaxation techniques, develop different interests, so on and so forth. These are issue management approaches because the issue is there, right? And then you just learn to manage the issue. And what do you do from there? From leaving a relationship to finding different solutions to deal with that. So that's issue management, right? Core change, however, for those two examples would be he quits drinking, literally quits drinking for your sake. He starts taking responsibility for pulling his weight, for helping out. He starts showing respect. And in fact, not just showing respect, but he's so much into you, you don't even begin to worry that he might be looking for somebody on the side. That's core change. And people go, oh, that's impossible. Well, that's not impossible because ultimately that's the goal for people who come looking for a solution with a relationship. That is the solution as opposed to a band-aid on the situation. And we do see it happen. So this is where acmeology actually comes in because a lot of people don't know how to achieve this success in relationship, although this is how they would define success in relationship, right? This is the change they're looking for. So this is the definition of success, but most people don't know how to get there because they're focused on issue management. So that's what core change approach can do for you. I'm not kidding you. That is a real. Briefly, though, to explain the two choices that you have here in terms of which way you're going to go. There are two types of relationships. There are two kinds of people. There are two types of relationships. What are they, right? Can you guys guess? Normal and not normal. And all the looks and the comments that I catch when I bring up normal, no, it's not, I mean, functional, dysfunctional. I'm kind of envious to the medical specialists, medical doctors who can say normal, oh, it's normal for you to sleep 7 hours a night, or it's the normal for you to not poop every day. I have a special video on that, by the way. But anyway, so I'm like jealous because why can they use it in the physical medicine but not in psychology medicine? There is a stigma to it. But when I say normal, when we say normal here, think about this as normal blood pressure. If it's normal, it means it can be left the way it is. It's not going to cause you any problems. When it's not normal, let's say it's elevated, you may not feel it. You act and look and function like anybody else, and you may not even know it's elevated unless you go get checked and find out that it's not. But if it's left unattended, it will cause you problems to the point of killing you someday. So kind of the same with relationship. Normal is normal. It can still have its problems. You know, people with normal blood pressure are not free from any problem whatsoever, even health-wise. And if it's not normal, it's a whole different breed of cats. So that's why here on the website we have a normal, you know, general relationship category and what we term relationship X. And if you suspect that there is something odd about your relationship or relationship question, you may want to go there. If it's more like, hey, you know, we used to be in love, we're kind of losing interest in each other, the spark has gone out, you know, or we're arguing about financial problems. I mean, that's all the range of normal relationship questions. If the questions are like there's something wrong, but I can't put my finger on it, you know, it just doesn't feel right, you know, that is a potential for relationship X. And to describe it briefly, the symptoms would be it usually starts with a lot of passion, a lot of feeling, a lot of interest, and then you start noticing there's just something wacky, wacko, you know, something off plumb with this relationship. I mean, you still care about that person, you still love them, but you start, it's like this relationship starts changing you. You're starting to lose friends, you start to question your values or even change your values a lot of times. You feel like you're turning into a different person. What you used to jump up to doing, your defaults are changing. um, you're starting to question yourself, like, am I really as good of a person as I thought I was? Am my choices really right? Am I doing things right? You start walking on eggshells, you start adjusting your behaviors. And another interesting symptom of relationship X is that you usually can't leave. You like, you know, I'm so sick of this, but you can't leave. And you know, there's more to that. Obviously, again, in the interest of time, I can't solve those problems in a 10-15 minute video. But just so that you guys know, there are two choices. If you feel your relationship is normal, like, you know, it's like everyday routine problems that you're trying to solve, then that's a general relationship category. If you suspect there is something different about your relationship, or if you've noticed any of the symptoms that I've mentioned, then I would be checking out relationship X. So that's in a nutshell what this is all about. And I hope to see you on the other side of this chain, you know, meet you in the discussion group, either video or chat, and continue the conversation and actually hear from you and talk about specifics from there. Thank you so much.